Hello, Steve Watts 89. Madonna, Truth or Dare, Backstage, On the Road and In Bed with Madonna, or just known as In Bed with Madonna in Australia and the UK. I just watched it because after watching all 5 versions of Blonde Ambition and a couple of different edits of it, and the single videos from Blonde Ambition edited out of the film, and I had to watch the film, and I love this film. I just wanted to do a video saying how much I love this film because I spent a lot of time complaining about like Madonna doing things that I don't like, or products that fall short of fan expectations, like or just wrong, like 50 funnily enough love 50 number ones when there's only 48 number ones on it and so forth. So I actually get to talk about something I love of Madonna's. Now this film is perfect. It is just perfect. It's just flawless. I saw it in the cinema when I was a kid, and it was amazing. I was the only person there, and I was supposed to be seeing another film with my brother and his girlfriend, and I saw that it was being screened there because I wasn't expecting it because it had already ended its run, and they still had like one of the old standees for it in the lobby, and I'm like, oh my god, look at that, and he's like, oh fine, go see that then. I'm like, okay. So I went to see it, and it was amazing. There was like 2 people in the back, a couple, and I think they left before the end, so I was the only person in the cinema. I felt like it was just being screened for me. I sat right up the front. It was amazing. Then I bought it on video, and I watched it constantly. It was my comfort food. Whenever there was nothing on TV and I'd just come home from school, I'd watch In Bed with Madonna. I can't tell you how many times I watched that video, hundreds of times. And it's because not knowing I was gay, but as a gay boy, feeling like I'm not part of this world, this straight world, I saw this world through this film that I knew that was my world, the gay world, the world of the arts, the art community, the art family, the family of artists, all those elements that are in this film really spoke to me, and really it's funny. I understood everything in that film. Everything made sense and seemed natural. Whenever I watched it with other members of my family, or they were just there and it was on because I was always watching it, they'd be like, why is this? Why is that person there? Oh my God, this person's... And I'd be like, you need that explained? That doesn't make sense to you? Like, of course he's kissing that guy. Why would he not kiss that guy? Like... Of course they're doing that. Like, it just made no sense. Like, what's wrong with the guy wearing cone bras? I don't understand. Because it all made sense to me. I knew this world, and it was just weird because like there's like that moment where Nikki comes down the bus steps, and she jumps on Oliver and she's like, Oliver, and I thought, is she making fun of this idea that he's like irresistible because supposedly Madonna had an affair with him or something? And my mum sort of saw it, and she was sort of amused by it, like these people are having fun, whatever. And I said, oh, that's because he's like the only straight one. And there was this news article that he had an affair with Madonna and blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to explain like why she was like, Nikki was screaming in that. And she sort of was like uncomfortable, like, oh, there's gay people in this film. And yeah, like it was just really weird. And I love the film. And it's funny, I can't watch it without speaking the dialogue. And I'm sure there are other people who do that. You just find yourself just speaking all the dialogue and not just singing to the songs, but... And it's funny because when I watched the concerts, I didn't do that the whole time, but when I was watching this, I had to. And the other issue with it is, because on a practical sense, there is an issue with format, because the original film, from what I can tell, was filmed in 4:3, which is like TV format. Now, it was cropped for widescreen for the cinema, but in order to do that, they cut the top and the bottom off the film, of the image. Now, this is what happened back in the day with films. They would film films on widescreen film, and then when they put it onto TV, they'd have to pan or scan it, where they'd scan one section or they'd pan across a wide shot. And this became problematic, so when it became evident that they were going to be showing a lot of movies on TV, they started filming, not everyone, but some people would film films on like I think 185 or whatever. It's like a fairly wide, it's fairly wide, like widescreen. So it's not as narrow as some of the other widescreen formats. And what they do is they would crop the sides off to put it on TV in 4:3 full frame, and they'd crop the top off to put it in full widescreen, and that way they just focus, make sure all the important information was in the center of the screen, and it didn't matter if they lost the top or the sides. But that way they'd only lose a little bit off the top and a little bit off the sides, and they could manage it, as opposed to when it's all full widescreen, you basically have half the screen missing if you crop it down to 4:3. And that's what they did with this film, apparently, because I had 3 versions of the film on DVD. There was 2 that were identical, the Australian one and the UK one, and they're both In Bed with Madonna. They're both widescreen, and you're missing the top and the bottom. And you don't notice so much with all the black and white footage when they're just in the background and it's just, ceilings and floors missing. But when you actually watch the performances, and like the lighting at the top's missing, or like when Slam's on the ground and she's like humping him, like he's on the edge of the... I just notice the differences. I can't watch it in widescreen because I know the image so well. I can't watch it on widescreen because I'm conscious of the fact that I'm missing parts of it. Because I saw it widescreen, then I saw it full frame, and now I can't go back to widescreen. And also the ADR and the color timing that they've done on the Blu-ray and the 1080 version that's on YouTube is awful. They've taken so much of the grain out, it doesn't look like the same film, because the film had a lot of grain. And the other issue is the color timing. When you watch, like, Express Yourself, the lighting for the most part is blue in the background, but in the other one it's green, and the colours are so strong and so bright, the yellows and the red, they've just gone overboard with the colour. It looks awful. I watched them the other night after I watched the concert, and then when I watched the full frame film, because I watched the full frame film, and the odd thing is, I have Truth or Dare, and it's in widescreen and full frame. So now when I watch the film in full frame like it was on video, I'm watching Truth or Dare, not In Bed with Madonna, because In Bed with Madonna I've only got in widescreen. But I watched Truth or Dare, and just seeing the footage again as it was on my TV when I was a kid, it was different. Somehow I responded to it differently than when I watched the cropped widescreen, noise reduction, looks like cartoon. There's like no detail and no grain, and it's green. It just looks wrong. It just didn't click. But this is like going home again. It was amazing, and it just went so quick. And I just watched all of it, and I just realized how much of my life and what I expected from life and my friends and family I got from this film. I really expected to sort of find a family of artists and people like that in my sort of realm, and I've not found that in the art world or gay community. I've found it all to be very cold, and I'm still waiting for my life to live up to my In Bed with Madonna expectations of that sort of family of artists and so forth. But I really love the film. I just wanted to do like a little semi-review, what is it when you just go on about something you love? Not gloat, whatever. I just wanted to talk about how much I love the film, basically. And it's weird, though, because I'm sort of seeing it a little bit differently. Because I've watched it so many times, it's just, like, unconscious. It's like, I didn't really realise, because people were describing it, she actually does start off talking in an interview on the 6th of August after the last show, and then they actually do a flashback to the start of the production, and they run all the way through with her doing commentary, and at the end they play Truth or Dare, and at the end they have the In Bed with Madonna section where they're being interviewed and talking and just sort of fooling around. I didn't sort of think of it in terms of that format. I just never really thought about the fact that it's actually all told in flashback. It's actually current time, and then so just little things like that I just sort of didn't notice, and it's just funny little things you do notice, like when Madonna is doing her thing with the water bottle. The waiter in the background who's just glaring at her the whole time. Little things like that make me laugh. But I really love the movie. I can't say more about it other than I can't say enough positive about it. I love it. It's perfect. It perfectly encapsulates this time and this world that they had Backstage that the director fell in love with because he was just hired to do just a little regular making of sort of thing for HBO or something, and then once he saw the Backstage and started talking to Madonna, he said, I think there's more here. I think we've got like a film here, and he talked her into paying for the whole thing, and everyone told her she was crazy, but she did it, and they put together an amazing film. And it kills me that apparently all the footage is gone, because there was talk of doing an extended version, because the original cut was 3 hours, and there was talk of doing an extended version and so forth. But I don't know if the footage is hidden somewhere or actually lost, or if it's going to pop up again, or if it's going to be done someday for an anniversary, someone's holding on to it to do it at a different time, or if it's actually lost. It'd be a tragedy if it was lost, because there's so many hours of stuff that would be just as interesting to watch. They could re-edit it as like a mini-series, like they did with that Beatles documentary, where they were just showing all this backstage documentary footage from the Beatles, and that, and they made a series out of it. They could do the same thing with In Bed with Madonna. It'd be amazing. But I'm just going to go, and next I've got Strike a Pose and a bunch of interviews with the dancers and people about the actual concert that I want to have a look at. And yep, I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.